Welcome back once again to another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host as always, Cam G. The man sitting to the right of me, of course, as my co-host for this evening. That is Mr. Phil Kahn, of course, the man on the bottom of your screen. That is the man on the ones and twos, my co-host and producer of this time, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, of course, we are joined here once again for, of course, you already know what time it is, to talk about some more AEW Dynamite. I'll say this, I think we are limping into Revolution. I feel like I said that last week. I don't know. I feel like I sound like a broken record at this point. I say the same thing every week. I feel like at this point, but I feel like we are limping into Revolution. There's a few things on that card that I really care about, and then I think everything else that they're going to build or what the direction I think they're going to go with. I'm not particularly going to care about necessarily, but we are not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. Before we get into that, how is your Wednesday evening going?
It's another Wednesday. AEW Dynamite. You know, I was sitting thinking while I was watching AEW, is normally I go on my tangents before we start the show, like really get into things. And I was like, maybe I'll change it up and just like sit here silently. But you know me, I can't do that. It's normal for me to start off with at least like a minute or two rant and talk bullshit and just blabber because it's what I do. You know, it's Wednesday. It's currently 40 degrees and raining here. It's the warmest it's felt in like 2 months, which has been nice. I was able to walk outside in shorts today, you know, with a hoodie, of course. But the rain, I love the rain, but not when I have to drive in it. And I had to drive in it today. So, yeah. And my windshield wipers were ripped, which didn't help. My car's a piece of shit. So, you know, got to keep up with the cosmetics of it.
That makes sense. Phil?
Wednesday's a Wednesday. I mean, you know, we're going through the week here. I was actually looking forward to tonight's Dynamite because of what they had lined up for tonight, especially with that main event. And obviously we'll talk about it. But we're kind of just going through the motions as we head towards Revolution right now. I'm personally liking where we're heading when it comes down to it. But we'll talk and we'll see what happens.
No wonder it's raining here because somebody was looking forward to AEW Dynamite tonight.
I was actually, you know.
He's trying to be positive.
I'm trying to at least see some of the positives here with this show.
Understand that.
It wasn't bad tonight. I think things could have been worse. I do. This is my honest full on before we get into everything. I think tonight could have been worse, but it also could have been a lot better. And
I'm
there's
not saying
things.
It's a perfect show by any means.
No show is ever perfect. That's one thing I think we should obviously have accomplished is the fact that no show is perfect.
At all.
Like, I think there's only been one show that's been perfect in the past like 20, 25 years. And that was on the WWE side of things. So, but as far as AEW, perfect show. I think year one of the pay-per-views was a perfect. I think it was double. I don't think it was Double or Nothing. Or was that year two? It was. I know it was one of the Double or Nothings. I think it was the Double or Nothing during the pandemic when they did Stadium Stampede. That was a good Double or Nothing, and I just rewatched that a couple days ago. Actually, I was bored and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch Double or Nothing when the world shut down. So I did, and it was a good show. It wasn't but I don't think any show's ever perfect. I don't. So you go into these shows, half anticipating good, half anticipating bad, more bad than good because you know how things can go. But 2 weeks ago, the show was really good. It was a good show. Last week, it's like they said, fuck what we did last week. Let's go back to, shit in the bed. Now this week, it's like, okay, we're going to take a little bit of what we did 2 weeks ago because the show was good and try and make it a little better. And they didn't succeed at all. I
don't know. Was the show awful? No. I've seen them produce worse, but there's just that there's just always that portion of the show. And I think this is every week, good or bad. Well, more bad than I guess good. Um, where I'm just literally like laying on the floor, just staring at the ceiling, like, when is this show going to be over? I don't care. It's like this is torture to me. I don't care what's happening right now. So
You start counting if you have ceiling tiles where you start counting the ceiling. See, like my ceiling has so like my ceiling is kind of gridded. You can kind of see it, right? I start counting the ceiling grid tiles.
it's rough. It's rough. That's normally what happens, I think, with a lot of these shows. But gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to break down Dynamite from the start to the end. So we start off. We hear from various different people who have matches tonight. We hear from a Willow Nightingale that says, she's not crazy about the fact that she doesn't even have to be involved in the fatal four-way match for her TBS championship to be able to lose the TNT championship. But she says she is, welcoming the challenge, and she says, may the best woman win. We then go from her to Megan Bain, who really, short and sweet. She said, hey, basically, she should have championship gold, as she has been chasing, I think, ever since she first stepped into AEW. And then we go and we pan to Swerve Strickland, who simply is basically praying to the heavens above, saying that he needs this, referring to his main event match, which we'll get into, versus Kenny Omega, and the first time they've ever had a match in AEW. And of course, Kenny Omega tells, basically, he also keeps it short and sweet as well. Says that Swerve is in his way on his path back to the World Heavyweight Championship. Our first match we had well, actually, no, I take that back. We went to Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was sitting by, and he says the great thing, I have to disagree with him on this one, but he says the great thing about the conglomeration is that there's so many members. And then enter Tomohiro Ishii, which they have used a lot of over the past couple of years, especially within the conglomeration. At this point, I think what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to start an Ishii counter and see how many times they bring this man into just random feuds or random matches. So this being the first, I think this will be the first time in 2026 thus far that he's been on Dynamite.
Say, I don't think we've ever seen him yet. So
I'm
for at least this year
so far.
At least this year. That's what I mean. At least this year.
I'm looking.
So we move on from that. Our first match is Moxley versus Mark Davis. I think this is a non-title match, I do believe.
Eliminator
match. Okay, so if Mark Briscoe had won, he would have gotten a international championship match against Jon Moxley. A hard-hitting affair, as you could expect from somebody like Mark Davis, and Jon Moxley. Other than that, I didn't really get a whole lot from this, other than the fact that, there's still obviously the elephant in the room. Him and Takeshita at Grand Slam in Australia this past Saturday went to a time limit draw, and that being it was the first match out the gate, which I thought was a mistake to go with the time limit draw for that match. So I think in Moxley later on, which we'll get into, I think also once he threw out the challenge to Takeshita for Revolution, so I think they are going to run this back at Revolution with him and Moxley for the international championship, this time with no time limit. So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this eliminator match with Moxley and Mark Davis. Phil, I'm going to start with you.
When I saw that this match was being made official for tonight, I kind of just go into these eliminator matches, as we all do, kind of, unless it's like in some certain occasions where the challenger actually wins these things here. But I was just expecting a Moxley win. And that is what we got tonight. But I liked what we got out of Davis here tonight, only because of them continuing to put him out there, even though his tag team partner is hurt. I've talked about this a lot lately, where at the end of the day, even though we do have so many people in this Don Callis family, I believe it's about 95 considering the injuries. We will, with everything that's happening with this, they gotta at least have Mark Davis out there, and it's better to have him out there than to just sit on the sidelines. So you do these kind of things here and there, give him a little bit of a showcase, but in the end, Moxley wins. That was always going to be the case anyway. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. But his real issue is with Takeshita, so that was never in doubt.
Mike?
I was a little surprised that they didn't have Mark Davis win. They've been on a roll with having the challengers of these eliminator matches win as of late. And now they switch it back up again and he doesn't win. I mean, his tag team partner's out right now. There was always that question of what is he going to do because of his partner being out. He's in singles action, which is a good thing. They're keeping him active. They're keeping him going. This is a very physical match between him and Mox. So physical, the fact that he literally, I mean, not knowing where Moxley's teeth went, but, probably knocked his teeth down, Moxley's teeth down his throat, because Moxley was missing teeth during his interview tonight. So, very physical match, not bad. Kind of surprised they had Davis lose, but at the same time, it's Moxley, so not surprised at the same time.
Yeah, Moxley, I don't know what happened with the whole teeth incident or whatever, but that happened a while ago. I don't think it happened in this match, but that happened a while ago. I don't know when or how, but yeah, something happened to where, I don't know, he's missing some teeth or something like that. So I don't know. That's Moxley. And in terms of Mr. Jake Doyle, which is Mark Davis' tag team partner, he since has undergone surgery to repair a torn biceps, I do believe. So
Yes.
He will be out for quite some time. That's a very serious injury. But next we saw Hangman Adam Page. He says this was after Grand Slam Revolution or Grand Slam in Australia. So this was obviously recorded after he beat Andrade to become the number one contender for the world title. He says that he will simply end MJF at Revolution. So again, like I said, I'm looking forward to their match at Revolution. I think it'll be a good one. I told Mike this, off air, obviously. I think this is just really them running it back from their basically unfinished feud from, before MJF had taken the whole sabbatical and before all that, and their feud or whatever, which is cool. I mean, it's more important now because it's over the world title. Before, I wasn't really crazy about it because it just felt like a feud that was going nowhere. So it makes sense. I guess this is just like their big payoff, and I don't really think after Revolution, I really don't think you're going to see them wrestle again, at least not for a while. So
is it me, or does it seem like they have a pattern going with specifically Hangman Adam Page? Okay, he faced MJF, and I'm trying to fix my camera here because I know I tilted it after I moved it a few moments ago. There we go. That should be better. Is it me, or they have a pattern of putting him in repeat matches at the same pay-per-view a year apart? They did it with him and Kenny a year apart, and now they're doing it with MJF a year apart. It's like a cycle with Hangman Adam Page where they have him repeat his opponent at the same event 1 year later. You ever notice that?
I didn't notice that until you said it.
It's specifically him too. Like, yeah, we're just going to do this for him. Nobody else does it but him.
Yeah.
So is he the guy that they just do that for? Like, I'm kind of curious on that. I'm kind of curious if he is just the guy that they do it for.
I mean, they did something similar with Osprey, didn't they? For like All In.
I don't think
but
so.
But I don't know if that really counts though, because I mean, All In just obviously he's the hometown, countryman or whatever. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but who's his opponent?
No. I'm just saying that just that particular spot, like they basically put him in the same spot and All In. Major.
Okay.
Match,
I know what you mean, like repeat moment wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, probably, yeah. So Will Ospreay is like the repeat moment of location.
Yeah.
But Hangman Adam Page is the repeat of opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I guess I didn't really pay attention to it until you said it. I just think it's, like I said, it's literally just, this is their end goal, I guess, with their feud. I really don't think that you're going to see them. I'm not going to go as far as you never see them wrestle ever again.
Yeah.
But not for a while. This just seems like this will be their, closing of the book on MJF versus Hangman Adam Page, at least for a while. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. Yeah. The next we saw the FTR in the Bucks segment. FTR of course once again going back to the well, saying that FTR is the best tag team in the modern era right now, and the Young Bucks are behind them. FTR is saying that they are the best tag team right now, and the Young Bucks are second best. Stokely said, I'm not even going to regurgitate everything that was in this promo. It's kind of long, but Stokely was talking some trash. Obviously, crowd starts to get on their feet. Obviously, we knew something was happening behind them. So of course, the Young Bucks come out. They super kick. They drop both FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax. And then the moment that I think we probably won it from last week, they ended up super kicking Stokely out of his wheelchair. And then, of course, Nick just simply picks up the mic and says, hey, we are the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and we will see you at Revolution, which I don't think needed to be said. I think we kind of already figured after they won the number one contendership that this was going to be at Revolution. So maybe this was just to get us to the official card and graphic being made for tonight. But I think we all kind of knew this was going to be at Revolution. But if you guys have any thoughts on FTR and the Bucks segment, and the match that is officially has been made for Revolution in March. Mike, I'm sorry with you.
There is one thing that was said during this promo that kind of bothered me as a fan a little bit, and with being a fan, I don't know whether I should let it bother me or not. But regardless, it did, and that is what Stokely said, talking about the Young Bucks being fake. Talked about employees in AEW being fake. They were bad a year and a half ago, tried to take Private Party out. Now they're in the middle of the ring shaking hands. They're fake. Pro wrestling's fake. This is fake. That's fake. It's like, how did you get away with running that promo, knowing that that is the worst word to be saying in the world of professional wrestling? I don't get, like, that kind of pisses me off a little bit because, again, and we speak about this all the time. This is one thing we talk about all the time is you never know what type of fan is watching on that particular night. And I mean that as newer fans. Okay? AEW right now, when their superstars, their wrestlers do interviews, MJF as of late with CVV, he was promoting the hell out of AEW, where to watch it, when to watch it, how to watch it, promoting the hell out of the show. Trying to bring in the newer fans, the fans that are just for WWE or TNA or whatever other promotion. He's trying to bring fans in. And now you have a manager sitting in a fucking wheelchair every week, comes out into the middle of the ring and starts calling things fake in your company. If I was Tony Khan, and I know we joke about Tony Khan and everything like that, but I'm being serious about this. If I was Tony Khan, I would be fucking either suspending him or firing his ass. Simple as that. You want to call my employees fake. You want to call this company fake. You want to call this business fake. And you're in this business. This business has probably been nothing but good to you. And this company has been nothing but good to you with you having a job, and you want to go in and talk that shit in the ring. And we're trying to bring in newer fans and attract the fans to come back that may have left us a while ago. So it kind of being a fan as long as I have been, it upset me just to hear that. FTR did a great job with their promoing. The Young Bucks, it was cool to see them come out and do what they did. If I have the chance of watching Revolution, this is a match I am actually excited for.
I will say this. I think it's more so like I like the fact that, because once again I talk about this a lot, where we see baby faces turn heel. We see heels, longtime heels turn babyface, and a lot of times with the latter switch, heel to babyface, it's just everything's all sunshine and rainbows again, and everything's just forgotten and forgiven. I talk about this a lot. And there's really no I don't know, I guess redemption story, or they just completely forget about all the heinous things they've done and said
Right.
while they were heels, and then it's just like their baby faces. And I think a lot of that to me is like with this, Bucks babyface run right now. Yeah, cool. They're back to the bright colors and the tassels and everything like that. But it's like nothing has been addressed as to like everything that they've done in the past, I don't know, year and a half or whatever, EVPs and all this. And they were like trying to like literally run every babyface into the ground on this program. Like
They were trying to run the company into the
right,
ground with
exactly.
what they were doing. Yeah.
So none of that has been addressed. So
Deleting random files and everything like
right.
that whole entire
And
deal.
I
for
get.
me-
Go ahead.
So for me, I will say that I think maybe that was taken out of context. I think it's so much more. He's not saying pro wrestling is fake. He was so much saying that but in this particular storyline, that people within professional wrestling are fake. Like they're not true to who they really are. He's trying to expose the Young Bucks. That's not the Young Bucks that we're seeing right now is not the real Young Bucks. They are trying to make up for everything that all the wrongdoings that they've done in the past year or whatever.
Right. That's how I took it too.
Yeah, that's so much what he's saying. And for me, I kind of like that because he actually is addressing all of the stuff that they've done and not just ignoring it and pretending like they're the good guys in this, which I mean they are, but they're not in a sense as well too, because
They're the good guys, but we all know what they're like.
Yeah, we all know what they're like. So
in the deep core of them all.
exactly.
See,
so,
and I understand. I understand that. I do. I understand what you mean by that, and I understand, how you guys are saying how you took it. But my biggest thing is again, the newer fans that come in, younger fans that don't necessarily understand how pro wrestling works like we do. Okay. So, for example, my 8-year-old nephew, he doesn't know pro wrestling is predetermined. He doesn't know it's storylined. Did I explain that to him? No, because I don't want to take away the magic that pro wrestling, sucks you into. Right. I don't want to do that. I don't. I want him to watch, enjoy, and be a fan. That's what I want for him. As he gets older, is he going to learn that? Yeah, he'll learn it. But for now, he's a kid. Right. He's at his own pace. He's learning that, their story, all that stuff. He doesn't know all the ins and outs. And that's what I mean. And to have somebody go on, whether it was whether it was meant for the Young Bucks or meant for the people in the world of professional wrestling, the wrestlers, referees, anybody who works behind the scenes, anything like that, I get that. But if he means it that way, then one thing is get into the specifics of saying like people in pro wrestling are fake. Don't just be like pro wrestling is fake, because then that takes away the aura for the fan who's just coming in and doesn't know the ins and outs, if that makes sense.
I completely understand where you're coming from with that whole logic as well. The thing is though, like I just took it the way that Cam was speaking about, and honestly, to be completely fair, none of you guys are wrong in this sense. Like you guys have the way you feel about it, and that's exactly how you should. But the thing is, when it came down to all of this, we all know what FTR is all about. They've done this heel work for quite some time now. People just do not care for them. People just do not like them. I wouldn't say do not care. To some extent, maybe. I really don't know how to feel about them right now. But like when it comes down to it, they're no
FTR.
FTR. I mean, like people like.
I'm 50.
I know that there are some people that actually do care about like the actual makeup of the tag team, but when it comes down to like this heel run for them, it's kind of a mixed bag.
I think the oddball dynamic. I think the oddball dynamic is Stokely.
Yeah.
And he's been since day one.
Right. That's the whole deal with it. And with the Young Bucks, them coming back into the fold of not only just them going after the FTR guys, but them back as the tag team championships.
Yeah.
That's a whole other different kind of dynamic that we're kind of getting back into now, with the Young Bucks being this being back to what they were, you know, at the time with the tassels and what they are now. I think it's going to be a very interesting way to go for Revolution. I'm liking where they're going with it though, because I just like seeing the Young Bucks in this state, because this is exactly what I kind of grew up on when it came down to the Bucks. Like this is my prime Young Bucks type of feel.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing for me to see.
The other thing is too is a year and a half, 2 years ago, when the Young Bucks were still baby faces, we were supposed to get this rematch, and it never happened. They just completely overlooked it. Then the Bucks turned heel, and that was the end of it. Now they're kind of revisiting it, so they're picking up from where they left off a year and a half, 2 years ago,
right?
And maybe that's why Stokely brought up the whole thing about trying to take out Private Party a year and a half ago, because they did this. Maybe that's why he brought it up. Maybe that's one of the parts of the storyline is him bringing that up, because this match was supposed to happen a year and a half ago for the tag team titles, and they just completely overlooked it because the Young Bucks turned. So maybe that's why.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they can do at Revolution, only because now this time around, even though we've seen this match quite a ton at this point, to me, there's got to be something different this time around. There has to be. There's not. You do so many tag teams with the same people, with the same group of people. You know what you're gonna get. But with the Stokely factor, there's something that's got to be involved. And I don't know what happened with you guys during the actual feed of the show, but as soon as Matt and Nick were just about to kick Stokely in the face in that wheelchair, it glitched out, and it
glitched out for me too.
I was like, dude, what are you doing? Mike, you know I stream the watch-alongs and everything. I was about to hit that record button for the kickback and the backtrack for the reaction, and it didn't happen because obviously it cut out. So I don't know what the heck happened production-wise or something, but man, that was a miss right there. I'm glad they did the angle, which Mike, you and I talked about it last week. I wouldn't have minded if that happened, but they did it this week and it cut. So we'll see.
I'm looking on social media to see if they have that moment on their social medias. So,
it's going to be up there on Glitch, I'm sure.
It'll definitely happen. And when they figure out the max replay or whatever, they'll figure out the issue and it'll be okay. But I thought it was only me, so I'm glad that you guys saw that too.
So the video is on the Twitter account, and I'm watching it right now to see if it glitches. If not, you can go on there and do what you need to do. It's right there.
Well, yeah,
it's on the AEW on TV one account.
Yeah.
So I pulled the mic and looked up how many matches FTR and the Young Bucks have had.
Yeah.
They have had 4. I think they are tied at 2 apiece. They had one in Dynasty in 2024. The Bucks defeated FTR. All in 2023, FTR defeated the Bucks. Dynamite in 2022, FTR defeated the Bucks, and then in 2020 at Full Gear, the Young Bucks defeated FTR. So this will be their 5th match in AEW as a whole. So there you have it. So we'll definitely have to see what happens. I'm excited for it. Like I said, they've had really good matches. They have not produced a bad match. So, and in terms of something different, as what you said, Phil, I don't think anything's really different. You're just gonna see a really good tag team title match. That's
I know, but I mean, like,
ain't gonna be nothing different.
Yeah,
there's not much you can do.
That's ultimately what is kind of boiling it down to. Like, obviously, we've seen these 2 teams go at it 4 times already. We know what we're gonna get out of these 2 teams, but I don't know. To me, as a fan, something different has to happen. Otherwise, it's just going to be another match on the card for me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't see what else you do with the a 5th match.
And I'm sure that when it came down to those other 4 matches, there were some of them were stipulations at that point, right? I mean, it's not like they were just normal matches.
Yeah, the one in Dynasty in 2024 was a ladder match.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I think all the other ones were regular tag
They're
matches.
almost regular, so they've only had one
wow.
stipulation out of 4 matches they've had.
Interesting. All right.
By the way,
I'll
by
just shoot myself in the foot then.
By the way, that moment was glitched on X as well.
Oh wow!
All right.
So
well,
I think
great.
honestly, I think what they were trying to do is to avoid the moment of showing somebody that was in a wheelchair getting super kicked.
So it was
I
purposely
guess
done.
that's fair. Yeah.
Trying to be a little DC with things.
Then there's going to be a moment where I would assume Stokely gets out because he can walk. He's not hurt.
No.
So he's going to get out of the wheelchair, probably try to get involved.
Maybe
for
cost the
FTR.
Bucks.
Maybe. But then ultimately they're going to get that big moment seeing him stand up. He's going to get caught and he probably get super kicked by the Bucks during the course of that match. That's going to be their big moment, or one of the big moments, I would say, in that match. So we'll definitely have to see. Brody King was backstage, obviously distraught and upset about losing his world championship match at Grand Slam Australia. But he vows that this won't be the last time you see him in the world title picture. He says, I guess that's just next week. Next week, he pointed to the 25th, which is just, like I said, that's just next week. Where he wants to face the biggest and the baddest to get back in the world title picture. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I guess I don't know why they added such an emphasis on the 25th. I asked Mike. I said, "What's on the 25th?" I thought there was some kind of special event happening or something like that. And I looked it up on the calendar.
Episode of Dynamite.
I looked it up on the calendar. It's literally just Wednesday. Yeah, I don't see them having anything on their calendar thus far. That could change last minute. I don't know, but it's just a regular episode of Dynamite. So we'll see what happens there with Brody King. The next match we had. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
One thing real quick in particular with his promo, if you listen to him, he says that he's going to get back into the world title hunt. He didn't specify that it was the AEW world title.
I see where you're going.
Yes. Yeah.
But I can only assume it's the AEW world title until further notice.
I'm jumping that assumption too, but just kind of pointing the obvious that he did not say the AEW world title in particular. So
listen, if he turns heel and on Bandito and chases the Ring of Honor World Championship, I'm all for it. I don't see why not.
Because what does Bandito did for him? What did Bandito do for him in this opportunity?
Nothing.
Exactly. And what did he do for Bandito?
Yeah.
He tried to help Bandito as much as he can.
Yeah.
So
I could kind of see it. I could kind of see it because even with that promo, you could kind of see like the frustration kind of coming out of him just a little bit. So I could see it. Honestly.
I think it's coming. I've been saying this for about a month and a half now that this is going to happen. I still believe it is going to happen. I do.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Like I said, but the assumption right now, it like I said, until further notice, is the AEW World Championship.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
I'm with you.
But the next match, we had a women's fatal four-way match for the TBS Women's Championship. Willow Nightingale putting her championship on the line. This will be, I think, her first defense. I want to say of the TBS Championship. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. But
you're wrong. I think it's like the third now at this point.
The first I've seen. So, but the third, I guess, the third that she's had thus far.
I think it's like the third in 5 days. They said,
yeah, third in 5 days.
They did.
Yeah,
they did it on Oh wait, no, but because third title defense in terms of like her 2 titles, I think, in 5 days.
She defeated. This was a defense, and then the last time she defended it was on the 21st of January against Julia Hart.
Okay, that's 2.
And then before that, she won the title against Mercedes. So this is her second defense. She was in a World Tag Team Title 3-way back on the 15th at House Rules in Australia.
Right. Okay.
Which was a house show, and then she fought for the tag team titles at Grand Slam as well. Or defended the tag team titles.
Out of the 2 titles that she holds right now, she's had 3.
This was her third defense with a championship in the past couple days. Yes. Yeah.
But we had Mina Shirakawa, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and of course the reigning champion Willow Nightingale. This was a bit of a train wreck. I would say. I mean, I didn't know what to expect going into this match, anyways. Some good parts, some really horrible parts, such as the very scary moment with a avalanche suplex and Megan Bain. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because of the fact. I think it's mainly just because of the fact that she's not used to doing what 90% of this roster does, and 450s and moonsaults and stuff like that.
High risk. Yeah.
Right. And she's not used to doing those kinds of things. And basically almost broke her neck, essentially. If it wasn't for that split second, and she just barely made it to her stomach. So that was scary. I think she got like the wind knocked out of her after that, because she was just like done after that. She just kind of vanished. But Willow Nightingale narrowly. It seems like Mina Shikara was definitely picking up steam towards the end of that match. But she narrowly got away with a small package, pins Mina Shikara, and retains the TBS Women's Championship. Hopefully, whatever is next is, I don't know, something I could sink my teeth into more with Willow Nightingale. I don't mind her being TBS champion. I really don't. This is the reign. They need to make this the reign that she should have had originally when she had the championship, because that reign was way too short. So I think they could definitely do something special here and really give her a decent run with this title. But it's got to be something, I don't know, just something better put together rather than something just random like this. So, but I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this match. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was, but I mean, a fatal 4-way between four ladies that are realistically, if you just look at the grand scheme of it all, they're in the tag team division. They've been kind of filling the they've been filling the tag team division in AEW with these single stars as of late. And Mike, again, we talked about this even on Monday with the WWE Women's Tag Titles. There's so much in terms of like big star names in the tag team division that you're kind of doing it to the extent of your singles championships in the TBS title and now the women's world title. The TBS championship is lackluster right now, only because what is Willow doing at this point with the title? Not much with it. I agree with you, Kim, in a sense of her having a championship reign that is definitely better than what the first time around was with her in that TBS title, because she ultimately did kind of deserve that at that point. Like, you know, she had she deserves a really good championship run with it. But now that you're trying to really focus on the tag team title scene in AEW and really kind of make that into something, the TBS championship is taking a back seat. And this is the kind of problem that I have when it comes down to a person holding two championships, is that if you're going to focus on one, that's a really good thing, but you're doing it at expense of the other. Yeah. So it's a very hard kind of situation to process, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but that's what happens. So I hope they figure it out. But until then, I just don't like how we're having people with two championships in AEW.
Oh, and I was about to say that this goes to what Cam was talking about a couple weeks ago with double champions. Like, you pay attention so much to one championship that the other one kind of goes by the wayside. It seems like right now there's that ultimate push for the women's tag team titles to have more of an importance because it's a newer championship, where the TBS title, yeah, you got it on Willow. That's great. And you want her to have a better run than she did the first time.
You love Willow.
That's great. But you got to make it to where she's defending the belt and in the ring and you know, the belt's on the line, everything like that. It's a pros and cons type of, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. If she's out defending the TBS title, why isn't she defending the tag titles? If she's out defending the tag titles, why isn't she defending the TBS titles? You have two titles on her, and you got to pay attention to one of them more than the other, which is the shitty part. I'm gonna say this right now, and this is the match that the other two were in, the birds
Brawling
Yeah,
Birds.
Brawling
Birds. They were in this
Freaking
match,
hate
right?
that name.
They were and I'm going to say this right now. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of throwing two singles competitors together and making them a tag team. But at the same time, in this situation, they kind of have to be forced to do so because you're trying to create a division. How do you do that?
Yep.
Right.
You use the competitors that are sitting backstage in catering doing absolutely nothing week by week. And what has Jamie Hayter done lately? Absolutely really nothing. What has their tag team partner really done as of late? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, so let's put them together. Let's make them a tag team. But even better, we need to make them look like a tag team. And they looked like that tonight with the attire, the way they were working. They looked good. Why couldn't we pull the surprise out of our hats and throw the tag belts on them tonight? Why not?
I wouldn't have mind that.
And that's what I mean. They look like a tag team. They moved like a tag team. They were in sync with each other. They looked good, and this was only what they said.
Look to them.
Like this was only like with their fourth, fifth time tagging together or whatever they said. So why not? Why not throw the belts on them, have it run it, and then you can concentrate on the TBS title with Willow Nightingale? Why not? Yeah, then that would mean you're taking Willow's tag partner and saying, what do we do with you? There's plenty for her to do. She can even go find another tag partner and trying to get the belts back while Willow concentrates on the TBS title because she's come into her own. Harley Cameron has come into her own.
Oh, yeah.
So she can go out and find another partner, go win those tag belts with somebody else while Willow concentrates on the TBS title, and they could still be kind of like a little, I mean, they're in the conglomeration.
They're still good. Like
they're in the conglomeration together. Just bring in another member. Why not? And you have Chris Statlander, who's kind of, the unsanctioned member of the conglomeration hanging out with them as of late, and not to fast forward, but there is somebody that showed up on TV tonight that I'm a big fan of that I actually wouldn't be mind to see in that mix because she does have that type of, what's that word that,
vibe?
Vibe. It's kind of in that area. She has that personality. She does. Okay. And she would fit. And it would give her something to do right off the bat, being a part of something like that. Yes, I know we have that issue of throwing people into factions left and right and building it up to 50 people in a faction. But why not? Orange Cassidy said in his opening thing, we got a bunch of people in the conglomeration. We know that's not true. Well, then start fucking adding people. Start adding people. And then his claim would be true. But add people of the importance that would fit into the story that they're trying to build with this group. Because ever since the start of the conglomeration, what has really been their story other than we're the box of misfit toys that don't really get played with as much?
Yeah, that's great.
That is pretty much what they are, though. I agree with that. And I mean, the only thing that they're trying to do right now in terms of a somewhat quote unquote story is this whole Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong thing, and that really isn't grabbing anybody's attention.
That's
not grabbing anybody's attention. So, I mean, it's really nothing at the end of the day. So,
you're going to have people on the internet saying, "Oh, Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, this is a match for a pay-per-view." No, it's not. This is a match good enough for Dynamite. It does not need to be saved for a pay-per-view, and you could settle this feud on Dynamite.
Yeah,
and that's that. But with the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy made a claim, back that up, add some members. Again, the returning superstar tonight would fit in very well with her personality, especially with hanging out with Chris Statlander and, Chris hanging out with Willow and Harley and all that. It would fit. And you have different competitors going for those championships opposed to having somebody hold two titles and focusing on just one.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Hire me, Tony. I haven't said that in a while. It's been a while.
I think we all just need to get shirts and say,
"Hire me, Tony." Can make it happen.
I think we'd all be great. Personally, I think we'd all be great.
I think we'd be fantastic, honestly. But next we have the Hangman Adam Page and MJF promo battle, face off, whatever you want to call it. If you notice when MJF came out, he doesn't come out with the same normal, cocky, arrogant swagger. He's just focused. I think he understands the severity of the situation he's faced with going into Revolution. and going against I guess somebody he's had a lot of friction and issues with in Hangman Adam Page. So right off the bat, he cuts right to the point. This starts off. I don't know what you guys got from this, and just the opening words that MJF had said to Hangman Adam Page. But I got flashbacks from a couple weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, from CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and just Roman telling CM Punk, "I hate you." So there's a lot of hate going around in 2026.
There's a lot of hate going around in the world title scenes for professional wrestling.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. There's a lot of hatred going on. So he just says he hates his guts. He hates the way he walks, talks, the way he wrestles, everything about him. He hates Hangman Adam Page. And then because Hangman Adam Page also says, before that, MJF says he's going to end the myth of Hangman Adam Page at Revolution. Hangman also tells MJF, he says, "Hey, well, you hate me, but I hate you even more." So again, like I said, we're just throwing in some more hate on top of hate in this rivalry. So I'm loving it. I'm loving where this is going right now. And he suggests that he wants something more than just a normal match. He says that a normal match isn't enough for where this is going, or where the path that they've been down thus far, which I can agree with.
Absolutely.
I think a normal match is just not big enough for these two. He wants MJF to decide. MJF says, "Well, I'm not doing anything other than a normal match. You're out of your mind." And then, of course, Hangman basically morphs into, and Mike, this is credit to you because you put this in my mind. He basically morphs into Cody Rhodes 2.0 and puts up his title.
Immediately thought that.
He puts up his title rights to against MJF. If he's unable to beat MJF for the World Heavyweight Championship, he will no longer challenge or be able to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's very big. That's very major.
And it's ever again, not for as long as MJF is champion. It's ever again. It's ever again.
So that's big. That's major right there. And of course, Hangman, since he's a maniac and he loves his match, he suggests he wants a Texas death match. Now, me personally, I say no. I've seen enough Texas death matches. He's been in like 3 of this at this point.
We're not even going to Texas.
No. Exactly. Which makes even less sense. No, not Texas death match. No.
We're in Los Angeles.
No. Mike has suggested an Iron Man match. I want a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah,
I would freaking love it.
I mean, that's closest to, hey, MJF said that he's not doing anything more than a regular wrestling match. Well, then let's go to distance. Hangman's pissed that, or MJF's pissed that Hangman has 2 wins over him. So how about going to an Iron Man match where MJF can win 3-1? It would tie it up 3-3, technically, and then we get a 7th round somewhere down the road. But at the same time, we wouldn't get a world title match between these two, but a 7th match, just an exhibition match, 1-on-1, to kind of clear up that record, And what I got from this, number one, I was sitting there when you had MJF say, "I hate you," and you had Adam say, "Well, I hate you more." I'm sitting here like, are we fucking 12 in a schoolyard? Like, yeah. I hate you. Well, I hate you more. Like, what the fuck are we? 12 years old? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, Jesus. The Roman Reigns CM Punk thing didn't even come to my mind. That was what came to my mind was, are we in a fucking schoolyard? Like, telling each other we hate each other more? And then immediately, as soon as Hangman threw that out, I was like, well, I guess Tony misses Cody a little bit because he's got Hangman saying, hey, you know what? If I lose this match, I no longer battle for the world title, the AEW world title. And if you go back, which is crazy, I watched this match the other day. Cody Rhodes took on Chris Jericho for the title, and Jericho had him in the Walls of Jericho. And MJF, crazy enough, was the one that threw in the towel on Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that was when MJF turned on Cody after the match. Yeah. So crazy enough that kind of comes full circle in the career of MJF to be involved in not one, but now a second person putting up their world title rights in a match, and he's involved in both. So,
Phil?
As soon as I was hearing those words come out of Hangman's mouth, I immediately thought, "Oh my God, they're going Cody Rhodes again." Did Hangman call Cody and say, "Hey, do you mind if I use your same stipulation that you used a few years ago?" But like, dude, I was like, "What are we doing with this?" Because I was trying to talk it out along with just myself to try to figure out and process everything that was kind of happening there. But then again, with AEW, they just immediately go right to the next thing. So ultimately, I didn't have time to process anything that was even being said there because we just moved on to what I believe, like, I don't even know what was next. It was some backstage interview or something. So I didn't even have time to process that, but we were just talking things through. And I was like, why are we doing this? Like, because it like, I don't want MJF to lose the championship, obviously, because MJF should not be losing this championship right now.
No.
But Hangman Adam Page never challenging for the world championship ever again in AEW, like, that just should not happen. Point blank, in my eyes, that just should not happen. So what the hell are we even doing here at that point? We'll see.
This will sound crazy, but if this were to happen and MJF beats Hangman Adam Page and Page is no longer able to challenge for the world title, I'm being honest, I'm not gonna miss him.
I'm not either.
I'm gonna miss him.
I'm not either.
I don't dislike Hangman Adam Page. Like, he's okay, but like, I'm not gonna miss. They can. There's so many people in this bloated roster to put in his place.
Yeah,
push somebody new towards that world title.
And
I
Phil,
get where you guys are coming from, but I like Hangman Adam Page, and I don't. That's just me, I guess. So I mean, I'll just stand back.
The smart ass in me almost came out for a moment there. That's
I know. I see you.
Do you know what I was going to
say? Okay. Camera.
Do you know what I was going to say?
Oh, of course not. But I mean, I see your camera. I know what you think.
Because you said that you had a conversation with yourself, and I was going to say that must have been one hell of a conversation. I have them all the time, dude. I talk to myself all the time, and I do the worst thing. I answer myself. So, I'm serious. I do. I'm not bullshitting you. I do. I have some pretty good.
But I mean,
I have some pretty good conversations with myself. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be an asshole about it.
The fact of the matter is, I just don't see why this honestly has to be a thing. Like, I understand you guys don't like Hangman on a page, and that's perfectly fine.
It's the suspense of this. It's the suspense of the situation. Remember, they hate each other. Let's do something to amp up the situation. What the fuck is AEW
doing? So now what the hell are we doing? Like,
again, you gotta ask
Tony that question. I don't know.
You got a world-sized pool of competitors backstage that can be challengers for the world championship.
Is crazy.
It is crazy. I will agree with you on that.
Ever again, though, is crazy. Especially with the caliber of somebody like Hangman Adam Page, who is beloved by a ton of people in the AEW audience. Not like.
So go win the TNT title like Cody did.
But look at it this way. Though, Phil. MJF wins this match, right? Hangman's no longer able to challenge for the world title.
Which would be
Think
awesome.
about what that's going to do for MJF.
Yeah,
that's going to make him hated even more.
Oh yeah, I'm not discrediting that. Of course, that would be so much more be beneficial for him.
And I'm
not discrediting that.
And who says Hangman will be out of the world title picture anyways? He technically doesn't have to be. You know why? Because he could still make Max's life a living hell without even challenging him for the title.
Good.
Without even challenging him, he can cost him that title.
I just don't see how this is good for anything. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
It is. It is. It is.
I don't agree with Texas Death because
I don't either.
It's not going to be Texas Death.
I don't either. It needs to be Iron Man. It's not going to
be Texas Death.
It's not needs to be Iron Man. But no, again, it's going to open up opportunities for more competitors to come in and challenge for the world title. Because let's face it, we talk about this all the time. Is they always end up having so many people challenging for one championship all at one time. At one point, we had 8 people that were saying they want to challenge for the world title. That was like a year ago.
Got 5 right now.
Okay, yeah, we have 5 right now, but it's not like you have all 5 are all in the same like vicinity of even each other when it comes to storyline. They're all off doing their own little thing right now. You know, like Swerve and Hangman doing their own thing. Andrade, he's now going to be doing his own thing until he gets back into that world title picture. You know, who else is in the world title? That's 3. Who else is in the world title picture?
Swerve, Kenny.
Well, I said Swerve and Kenny, Andrade,
Hangman,
and Hangman.
And then
that's it. And then Max is the champion.
And Max champ, yeah.
Okay, so that's not too bad. That's not too overwhelming. And at the same time, it's just Hangman going after MJF right now with the other guys doing their own things. So once Hangman is out of the picture, you have Swerve come in, or you have Kenny come in, or Andrade come in. I don't see Andrade because I don't see in a world of Andrade versus MJF, but hey, again, it's AEW. We never know.
I see it, but he ain't winning the title.
So I got a theory about that. I'll explain later.
But the thing is like, yeah, it sucks, especially if you are a fan of Hangman, but there is so much, even if Hangman does not ever get a chance to challenge for the world title again, there is so much he can do. Again, going back to the Cody Rhodes thing. Yeah, Cody did it. Cody didn't challenge for the world title anymore in AEW. What did he do? He went into the TNT title tournament. He became the inaugural TNT champion. Had that great feud with Brody Lee before Brody got sick and we lost him, RIP. Had that great feud with him. Had some really good feuds with some people. I mean, the match with him and Sammy Guevara before he left was a hell of a match. There are things that Hangman can do without being around the world title. It's just all about opening those horizons and putting him in those situations. That's all it is. And you look at the TNT title, area right now, you got a lot of your mid-card guys going for that, which is not a bad thing because it's serving its purpose. But at the same time, the TNT title is what people do complain about because it's not really it's not really up there to where we thought it would be. Then what would be perfect than bringing in a big star like a Hangman Adam Page to hold that championship and have a run with it?
I don't mind it. It would boost the TNT title for sure. Because right now they're pretty much just hot potatoing that title.
You got to go
as of late, anyways.
Go back to the mid 2010s when Randy Orton and John Cena were holding the U.S. title. Big name guys, 10-time plus world champions holding that mid-card title. What did they do for that title? The Miz and his run with the Intercontinental Championship. What did he do for that title?
I'm not saying
there's
wrong.
Always
like I see it. I see the vision with that.
There's always that argument of whether the superstar makes the title or the title makes the superstar. There's always that argument, and it's an argument that will never, ever be settled. That argument, the way I look at that argument, is a by champion basis. It's whoever's holding the title. So, for example, when Mark Briscoe was holding the TNT title, what did you think? Did the TNT title make Mark Briscoe, or did Mark Briscoe make the title? Now that title is on it's back on Kyle Fletcher. Now is that title making Kyle Fletcher, or is Kyle Fletcher making the title? That argument is never going to be settled on whether a championship makes a superstar or a superstar makes a championship. Never. In my eyes, anyways.
That's a good point.
And Hangman could do a lot of good for that TNT title.
I think so.
A lot of good.
Next,
if the booking's right.
If the booking's right, that's always the question.
That's my point with it all. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
The Death Riders were backstage with Jon Moxley. Obviously, Jon Moxley is not done with Takeshita. I think I briefly spoke about this earlier. He throws out the challenge to one Konosuke Takeshita for a rematch, as their match at Grand Slam Australia went to a time limit draw for Revolution for the International Championship. I'm for it, I guess. I still think Moxley retains here, or retains there, I should say. But we'll definitely have to see when we get there, or if Takeshita accepts, which I would assume he will accept that match. So we'll definitely have to see in the next coming weeks leading up to Revolution. The next match we saw a tag team match: Orange Cassidy and Ishii versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. I didn't really care about the tag team. This was one of those matches where I'm laying on the floor staring at the ceiling, just waiting for Dynamite to be over. The one thing that really caught my attention, though, was the fact that AEW's Batman essentially, and Darby Allin just kidnapped and
Just
abducted
shows up again.
Gabe
Yeah.
Kidd for like the second or third week in a row. He just kidnapped people. So there obviously there's got to be some kind of match or something to go on with that because he's feuding with both Connors and Gabe Kidd right now.
Right.
So I would assume there's going to be some kind of match. I would be surprised if this is some kind of mid card match filler for Revolution. It wouldn't shock me. But get your guys' thoughts, if any, on this match between Orange Cassidy, Ishii, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors. Mike, I'm starting with you.
It was a good match. It wasn't bad. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. I mean, having Gabe Kidd, number one, get kidnapped in the middle of the match was a kind of a throw off for me because I didn't know Darby Allin was even doing this. And when you kidnap somebody, then why the fuck do you release them? Aren't you supposed to like keep them hostage until you get what you want? Like, how is Gabe Kidd free after getting taken 2 more times before this? That's what kind of throws me off. It's like Darby says, "Oh, you got a scheduled tag team match. You can go do that, but then when we get towards the end of the match, I'm going to grab you again, just to kind of let you know." It's like Gabe Kidd knew it was coming and just didn't mind, to even think about it during the match. I think the wrong team. I think the wrong team won this match. Honestly,
I agree.
I do. I don't think that they should have done the Darby thing. I think it was stupid. I look at Gabe Kidd as an extension of Jon Moxley because Jon Moxley brought him in. And if he's an extension of Jon Moxley, then what would he be an extension of? The Death Riders. Now, didn't Darby Allin want to finish things up with the Death Riders?
Don't get me started.
What did we say a couple weeks ago? He ain't done with them. Well, now he's dealing with the extension of the Death Riders and Gabe Kidd.
Woohoo! So he's not bad at all,
right? Look at that. So you go and take him away, and Orange Cassidy and Ishii win. Congratulations, cool. I still think the wrong team won. I think Gabe Kidd and his partner, I forget his partner's name, should have won this match. They should have. Because, Ishii was injured. Orange Cassidy was nowhere to be found halfway through this match. And then out of nowhere, just because Darby came and took Gabe Kidd, let's fucking, have them win. It was stupid. But what was the other question about then, too? I was kind of on a tangent here.
No, that was the only question, I think.
Oh, that was it? Yeah.
Phil?
The match was fine. I really didn't care for this match at all. I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing this thing with Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin, and I mean, it's a fine filler feud for Darby as he continues this Death Rider bullshit that he's on for the better part of the last few months. And extension of it or not, at the end of the day, it's still technically a part of it, and I want Darby out of it, to be completely fair. Like, I just want him out. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with it. I'm definitely expecting a Gabe Kidd versus Darby Allin match once and for all at Revolution or something to that extent.
It's going to happen on Collision.
Most likely. But I mean, regardless, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm just done with the whole Darby Allin Death Rider stuff. So
we go from that to a very chaotic scene involving the Don Callis family. They're talking some nonsense about Collision. Who cares? But
this is just a ridiculous segment anyway.
It was. And this is the second time they've done this because I did this on Collision like a couple weeks ago with Josh Alexander, and there's just chaos going on behind him.
I just see Josh Alexander holding an ankle in the air, and I was like, "Oh, okay, hi, Josh." What?
Beating up. We don't even know who they were beating up. Probably
they were stagehands. They were fucking stagehands. Tony Khan was like, "Hey guys, guess what? We need you to go meet up with the Don Callis family, and you're going to get your ass kicked. And one of you are going to be held through the segment by Lance Archer, who's just standing back there and just at this point is just fucking there. Like, yeah, just go get your ass beat for 5 minutes."
Island with a guy on his shoulder. I was like,
he's like, yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah. And then he throws the guy down. I'm like, why? Why? What was the point of this?
Beating up on poor state.
And then fucking Okada comes in talking
says,
shit.
I show up to work because I'm a
I
champion.
show up to work. Takeshka, he's out. First, Don Callis like, oh, he's partying with Kyle Fletcher over in Australia after a big weekend. But then Okada comes in talking shit like, I show up for work, and Takeshka doesn't. And Don Callis 2 minutes ago was talking good about him, and then he's standing there agreeing with what Okada says. Like, dude, pick your fucking poison. Like, this is supposed to be your family. And you're standing there agreeing with what Okada said because he walks into the frame and talks shit about Takeshka. Like,
this is what is great about what is going to happen with Takeshka and Okada. Because Don Callis doesn't know where to land with this. So I think when Okada's around, he wants to keep Okada fat and happy. When he's not around, he's going to talk good about Takeshka because he wants to keep Takeshka fat and happy. So that's
you're saying that at the end of the day, Don's going to have to choose.
Oh, for sure. He's going to choose Okada. He's going to choose Okada because he knows Okada that's his real ticket, his real meal ticket right there.
He was the guy that backed Okada from the start when it came down to joining the Don Callis family. Exactly. He brought in Takeshita, and it started the whole thing with Okada right from the word go.
Yeah, it will make no sense. It will make no sense the other way around. Absolutely not. So,
and then you had Andrade saying, "I'm coming for the world title." I was like, okay, yeah, he's staying there.
which is what I was getting to. Andrade says he has eyes on the AEW World Championship. I could see Andrade. Now, this is my theory, right? And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't even know how I feel about it, but this is just how I see it in my head. After the match with MJF and Hangman and Page, I could see Andrade, MJF coming face to face as Revolution is going off the air. Boom. Next feud or next defense for MJF, Andrade versus MJF. Now,
it's Dynasty,
I don't see this being big enough or really making any sense for it to be the next big pay-per-view. Andrade versus MJF, that doesn't even sound good on paper just because of the fact that they're both heel. Who do you even root for? So I can't see it. A good defense for a special Dynamite or a regular Dynamite, sure, but it's going to happen. Andrade versus MJF, and I don't mind it. I think it's gonna be a great match. It's just not big enough to put on a pay-per-view. I don't think so.
I push back on that. I do. I only push back on that mainly because I know what Andrade can bring to the table in a world title match on a pay-per-view like stage. He's done it before. He's been in world championship title matches before on bigger stages. Yeah, sure. It might have been NXT and WWE kind of, way. But Andrade's great. You put him in a match against anybody and he'll make it worth everybody's while to watch it. Obviously he wouldn't win it. I'm not saying any of that. But if you put him in a position to where you say, all right, look, we're putting you in this situation, run with it. Let's see what you got. You can make it work, especially with somebody like Don Callis. Because honestly, I've liked what they have done with Don Callis and him ever since he came back into the company. So there's something with that. But I see your point though with the heel versus heel. That's the only kind of thing that is a little bit jarring with that. But in terms of a talent, there's no doubt in my mind that
I'm not denying his talent. Andrade is a fantastic wrestler. I'm not denying his talent. It's just right now with his current position with him, with Don Callis' family and all that.
The heel versus heel is a little jarring.
I just don't. If Andrade is on his own and he's a massively over babyface and he's trying to stop this, egomaniac in MJF, then I'll probably get behind it a little more.
And to me, with it being Dynasty, it's solid for what it would be. It's not like a big 4 for them.
I could see Dynasty. I could honestly see.
Oh yeah, that would be that's the next pay.
That's the next pay-per-view.
It's Dynasty on April 12th.
I could see Dynasty.
It's not a big 4, so just get a title defense in there.
Yeah, I could see it just for the sake of a defense. I could see it. But that's just where my mind goes to. At the end of Revolution, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but who knows? We'll definitely have to see. After that, we saw Hook in a very odd promo. I don't know what that was.
Why are you throwing this kid into the fire? Like, what is like? What are you doing with him?
So bad.
Like, you're throwing this kid into the fire. Like, he's like,
Oh,
I'm the
geez.
leader now.
I'm
You're only
the-
doing that because Samoa Joe is out, and
I'm the
apparently,
leader now.
and Shibata is over. Shibata's elsewhere, I believe, doing some other tournament or whatever. So, like, I mean, he's on sabbatical. Joe is hurt, and you just got the Hunchback Kid.
Hey, yo. What's about Joe being out? I'm the leader of the ops now. I got Shibata over in Japan doing the recruiting to grow the ops while I'm here domestically doing it. I'm the best second generation superstar anyways. So I have the capabilities of doing this. Yeah, I'm surprised the kid didn't have a bag of fucking chips in his hands.
He always does.
The greatest second generation superstar of all time. False.
There's a 14-time world champion in WWE that he's third gen. He's third gen though.
He's
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, he's third gen. That's right. This was so fucking stupid. Like, I like Hook. Don't get me wrong. I do. I've liked Hook since he came in.
I might not like him anymore after that.
I have no problem with the kid, do like what he does, but you literally set him up center stage tonight. And we know in the past he has had promo issues.
That's not
like you legitimately said, hey, go cut a promo saying that you're the leader of the ops. And then we need you to say this about but we're gonna change the dynamics. All right, boss, what are you thinking? No chips.
No chips.
No chips.
Oh man.
And then you just have Hook doing this. Okay.
Wow.
Hey, yo. Because of Samoa Joe's injury, I'm the leader of the ops now.
I didn't believe a single word he was saying.
No. Nobody.
That's also a thing, believability. Like, I don't believe him.
Like, he can't be happy with that promo. Like, I don't care what type of level you're on. You can't be happy with what you just put out.
I hope the company's not happy with it. How can you be?
It was ineffective.
If I'm Samoa Joe, I'm offended and pissed.
If I'm Samoa Joe, I'm taking a few more days off.
And if
I ain't getting back into the shit.
And if I'm Powerhouse Hobbs, I'm sitting there looking at the TV fucking pointing and laughing. Like, I'm saying, thank fuck I got out of this.
I haven't shown my face on the main roster yet ever since debuting at the Rumble, but I'm glad I'm over here instead of doing whatever that was.
Friday night, he is.
He's coming back. He's showing up on Friday?
Powerhouse Hobbs. He's having his first match on SmackDown, I believe.
Nice.
First one-on-one. Yeah.
I didn't hear that, but that's great.
As far as I heard, he's having his first singles match on Friday Night SmackDown because he's not a part of any roster yet.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just saying. But like up until this point, we haven't seen him since the Rumble. But like at the end of the day, like I might not have shown my face on either brand yet, but I'm glad I'm not doing anything over there now with that. So
yeah, this was rough.
Man.
This was rough. I don't know what their plan is with the ops, but it's pretty bad.
And then the fucking logo mark at the end, like you had to end it like that.
Just sprawled over his face.
Like that was probably the best part of the promo. Like
yeah, the fact that it ended.
That reminded me to go buy my ops t-shirt, because I didn't get it yet. But I think the ultimate thing is just waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it anymore.
No, I'm getting it. I'm not just gonna wait till it goes on sale.
That whole entire promo just completely soured me on the whole group. I'm not gonna lie. Until
I really don't. Really
Speaking
don't.
of, I got to go check and see what the price is on that shirt.
It ain't on sale. Watch.
It might be.
Or maybe it is. They're like, look, we gotta sell these things fast before actually people
Before we wreck
don't
this
like
whole
them
thing.
anymore. People don't like them anymore. We gotta get them now.
$30. Oh my god, they made it. Oh, somebody made that. Never mind. That's like a fan made shirt. Never mind. It's a picture. Oh my god, you guys got to see this shirt. It's so funny looking. Like why they put Samoa Joe that picture of Samoa Joe in this is beyond me. Like it looks ridiculous. But no, it's still $30 for it. So got to kind of wait for it to go on sale. So I'm sure there's a sale coming up soon. Some kind of like holiday sale or something. During Double or Nothing weekend, they usually do holiday sales. So I'll just wait until May.
There you go.
There we go.
The next match we saw the tag team match, women's tag team match with the Brawling Birds, which is Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter, newly formed tag team. I like them. They look like a tag team to me. They look like a legit tag team that's been teaming for years now. So I like them. I like their overall aesthetic, I guess. So I like them. I don't know who they face. Don't ask me. Who knows?
Viva Van. Viva Van is like big on the indie scene and everything. And she was in NWA, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah, you know more than I do because I didn't know who they were.
I like Viva Van. I've seen a couple of her matches. She's not as bad as things looked tonight on AEW television.
Fair enough.
I'll say that.
But no, I told Mike this. I said the Brawling Birds are basically the female Brawling Brutes. Basically, that's
fair,
the vibe I got
fair.
from it.
Yeah, fair. That makes sense.
But no, I like them. Like I said, you need more tag teams in this lack thereof of a division.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this match. Mike, I'm start with you.
I mean, again, Viva Van. Again, I think things could have looked a lot better for her tonight because she is a pretty decent wrestler. I kind of felt bad for her in that sense. But this tag team of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter, like I said earlier, put the tag belts on them and let them run with it. They look like a legit tag team. Again, not a fan of the singles competitors coming together, but they fit. It fits. It works. And they could do something. You take that belt off of Willow Nightingale, and she can concentrate on the TBS championship, and all would be well. And with that too, you can build. Just think of that. And as I was saying this earlier, you put the tag belts on them. Okay, Harley Cameron can go off and find a tag partner. Hey, Chris Statlander's not doing anything right now. She lost the world title. Have her tag up with Harley Cameron and go after the tag belts. Let Willow have more of the limelight, so to speak, in this trio group, right? And then in the addition of, and I'm sorry I'm getting ahead of myself, but if you added in Thunder Rosa and Harley Cameron could tag up and go after the tag belts. Who knows? But putting the belts on a team like Jamie Hayter and I just said her name and I forgot it, Alex Windsor, you can build a tag team division. Just by taking the belts off of somebody who's holding another championship, you could build a tag team division around this. And I hope Tony sees that. Like what they can do with just putting the belts on a team that, just got created not too long ago, but they look like a legitimate tag team in all aspects. I really hope he sees that because they could. So I like their look. Viva Van could have looked a little better tonight, but it's nor here or there. She was there to do the job she was supposed to do.
Phil?
Yeah, I like the team. I said that immediately as soon as the match was over. That I like the makeup of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter as a tag team. They are legit. They have that kind of feel to them, and I agree with Mike 100% in saying that when it comes down to it, having the tag team titles on a legit tag team, or at least a team that looks like a legit tag team, build around that and make that tag team scene around them ultimately getting the tag team titles to seem a lot more important than what it seems like right now. So I think it's a great deal, and we'll see. I really hope for the best when it comes down to this team, because this is definitely something for Alex Windsor to do. Because man, has she not been lighting the world on fire ever since coming into AEW. I love her. I think she's absolutely fantastic. I do, but at the end of the day, you got to get her on television so that she can connect with people. And I feel like her being paired up with Jamie Hayter, who is a beloved woman in this division, regardless of however many times AEW's kind of like messed up with her in the past or whatever. The fact of the matter is, this is at least getting her in front of the fans with somebody that's very well known, and it can work out for Alex Windsor in the end here. So I love that, and we'll see. But I agree with Mike 100% in saying the tag team titles on them would work. Absolutely. So I'm hoping that happens. But yeah, good stuff.
Speaking of Thunder Rosa, we go to the back with the former AEW Women's World Champion in Chris Statlander, and then casually strolls in the returning Thunder Rosa. They should have made a bigger deal about this with Thunder Rosa coming back. We haven't seen her on TV in quite some time. I don't know where she fits in the current landscape right now. The women's division, it's kind of all over the place, especially now with women's tag team titles. I just don't know where they put her in, but we'll definitely have to see. I think it'll be a while before championship implications come her way. I think got to get her back to the swing of things. Definitely got to get some big wins under her belt, I would say. But we'll definitely have to see. But I think it's just another. It's definitely a big addition. Just to have her back right now, I do believe. So we'll definitely have to see. The next match we saw Kevin Knight versus the Beast Mortos. I don't have anything on this match. I mean, I guess.
Why? Kill time.
Basically the kill time, the kill TV time. Hangman pretty much is just like kind of abandoned Jet Speed. He won the trio championships from the Ops, and he's just gone. He's just hey, I'm chasing the world title.
One thing that I was like kind of just iffy on with all of this, I mean, other than the match just even happening, because just random out of nowhere. But like the backstage part where they were all like happy and jolly saying, look, Beast, if you beat me tonight, I'll give you a shot at these World Trios Championships. Obviously, Speedball standing right there. He's all happy and glory. He's fine with it, I guess. But then all of a sudden, I was thinking about Hangman. Even though he's technically involved in the world title scene right now, I'm like, did you run that by Hangman? Like, did you at least talk to him about it first or anything? Yeah. And yeah, sure. Nitpicky, fine, I guess. But at the end of the day, it is kind of something that you should be talking about with your trios partner. It's something. So I was like, okay, fine. Obviously, I love seeing Kevin Knight in the ring. He's a great in-ring competitor. It was honestly a solid match for what we got. But I mean, it was nothing. So I mean, like, it's a side story, a side quest, I guess. Good stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, not a whole lot there at all. I didn't have any notes on this whatsoever. So, yeah, we're just kind of, going through the motions, I guess, with Jet Speed right now as they hold basically the trio championships as if they're tag team titles. Because again, Hangman is rarely ever, if ever, seen with them. So
and they only put these trios championships on these guys because Hobbs was gone.
Yep.
So they don't have a real plan for this.
No,
like they don't.
Not at all.
So I
whatsoever.
mean,
no, they don't. It's clear they don't. So
it's a cool thing that they're having a little bit of a thing with Hangman teaming up with him. But I mean,
it's got a shelf life.
Yeah, it's got a shelf life, and at the end of the day, it's just to learn, I guess, for a little bit while these young kids.
I think it's expired already.
Thing.
I think the shelf life is they're hardly around Hangman at all.
Yeah,
like I think it's expired already.
They're like Hangman's henchmen.
I mean, if they're even that, like
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, no. Like they're not helping Hangman win or anything like that. Like they're not anywhere near that.
or
So,
better yet, just like his background band.
I was the only thing I was curious in this match about was wondering what Kevin Knight's connection to NASA was, because he was wearing like NASA type gear, but it said Jet Speed on it or Kevin Knight or something like that.
I don't know. That's always on his tights. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm kind of
His,
curious.
It just kind of goes with the whole Jet Speed.
The only
I guess.
connection I have with that is that his spinning frog splash or whatever is called the UFO.
Yep.
It's called the UFO splash.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess
I forgot
it's
about
just
that. Yeah,
space. It's just space themed.
Yeah, the whole space theme, the name of the finisher, Jet Speed. Yeah, that's about it. The next thing we saw another really good return video package for one Mr. Will Ospreay. Again, this was very good. I love when he said I love when he said he's made of titanium screws and ambition. So again, like I said, this man is definitely determined to come back and reclaimed what he thinks he never lost. So I'm definitely curious to see when and where he comes back. I think we are nearing his return very, very soon. He is on the fast pace on his recovery. He's working very hard, getting back in shape, and recovering from major neck surgery. So very curious to see him come back. The man, he's a phenomenal, not even fantastic. He's a phenomenal talent. So anywhere I think you put him in at, I think he's going to succeed. So I'm very curious to see.
Breeze AEW takes a bullet for this company every time, man. I mean, keep these things going because it's working. I mean, obviously, everybody is there's a ton of people that are just wanting him to come back. People are counting down the days of this man's return. Keep these going. It's working.
Absolutely. I don't even know if I need to really bring this up, but I will anyways. The demand to throw out the challenge to, I don't even know their names anymore. Jet Set Rodeo, I think, is the trios.
Yeah, Jet Set Rodeo.
Names.
Yeah.
For the trios, for the trios titles, for I think Collision.
This Saturday.
I mean, honestly, I'm not a fan of the demand, but it's harmless, I think, to put the trios championships on them because they're more of a trio than Jet Set Rodeo is right now. I feel like having Hangman hold one of these three belts is just a distraction, I think, for him. He's obviously not focused on that title at all. He's focused on winning the World Heavyweight Championship back from him.
I have a question for the both of you real quick. I know it's kind of going back, but he didn't come out with the Trios Championship in the face to face.
Yep.
I personally, when it came down to that, I wouldn't like it when it came down to a champion not holding a championship or whatever. Because Mike, I feel like you kind of had that same note of like, if you're a champion, wear it with pride or something like that. But like, they were focusing on the world title, so I was hoping like they're focusing on the world title. And I like that they were focusing on the world title, so I was like okay with it at that point. But yeah, he didn't come out with the World Trios title.
He had it in his hand during the recorded promo at the beginning of the show.
I was talking about the MJF stuff.
I know you were, but I'm saying he had it in his hand during his recorded promo at the beginning of the show. So he was shown with it at some point on the show.
Yeah.
It was just after his match in Australia. And it was mention of the World Championship. It was during a mention of the world title. So I'm all for champion. That was one of my that's always been a complaint for me, was if you're holding a championship represent, it doesn't matter what level of championship it is, you're holding that championship if it is concerned with that company. Now, if it's a championship that's not concerned with the company, for example, and Cam was a part of this, I went on a tangent about 2.5 years ago about Claudio Castagnoli being the Ring of Honor champion, but he didn't have the title on AEW TV. Ring of Honor is under the umbrella of AEW, which means he should be holding that world title at all times, no matter what, and he didn't. But if you're holding a championship from another company like CMLL, it's only a partnered company. You don't have to show up on TV with a CMLL title, only on their shows.
Fair enough. I don't know. I can see the demand winning the trio championships. I think that's completely harmless since, like I said, I don't think this current trio is doing anything, nor are they going to hold the championships for very long, in my personal opinion.
That's just another double champion, though. And again, I don't like.
Yeah, but again, now here's the exception with that. I don't know how you're going to feel about this. I don't view the national championship as a major title in this company. I don't. I put it below the international. I put it below the TNT. I put it below whatever other
It's
trios
definitely
titles.
to me in terms of the hierarchy. It's definitely the lowest out of the singles mid card titles for me.
I really don't see it ever leaving the shoulder of Ricochet. I don't. That's Ricochet's title for here and forever and for as long as he's going to be in AEW
Till Kingdom Come.
So that's why.
Yeah,
you are technically correct. That is another double champion, but that title's not leaving Ricochet. It's not. So he's going to win his first major championship with winning the trio championships with demand, in my personal opinion. So I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. Like I said, Jet Set Radio could retain.
I think it's just a harmless style of defense, and they just get a title of defense under their belt.
It is because they're not like they have,
and it's a collision. So that's what makes it kind of even like worse for me even more.
Yeah. So, one other thing before that segment closed, there was the knife in the door signaling. I guess Jungle Jack Perry, is not done with the demand for some strange reason. I haven't cared for a single solitary second of that feud, but we'll see. See what happens there. Now, gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw Swerve Strickland versus Kenny Omega. Very big match here, very big world championship implications here as well. And of course, we saw MJF at the beginning of the match before, I believe at the bell, watching closely, watching the monitor, even after the Hangman match, being made official, still working out the stipulations for that match, Revolution. So he's got a lot on his plate right now, just with that world championship right now, watching pretty much all challengers. I thought this was a great match. This was honestly a very solid match between these two, and especially for their first match ever being in AEW. The biggest moment for me was after Swerve had taken a avalanche a dragon suplex from the top rope, appeared to have hurt his shoulder.
Yes.
And then he was going to eat a pretty nasty V trigger and ended up pulling Aubrey in front of him, and she ended up getting hit with a V trigger. So that was definitely a big turning point of this match as well. Swerve ended up becoming the victor in this match. And then afterwards, absolutely destroying Kenny Omega after the match, using the steel chain to choke him out. And then, of course, ending the night with a pretty nasty vertebreaker through the announcer's table on the outside. And we closed things out with him saying, "I needed this." So heel turn, I guess, from Swerve Strickland. I'm all for it. Like I said, he was already kind of teetering on the edge of a heel anyway, so it's not like a major heel turn. But like I said, a meaner side, a nastier side to Swerve is probably what he thinks he needs to push him over the edge to get back his AEW World Championship. And get your guys' thoughts on the main event. And again, like I said, another edge or a bigger edge, a meaner side, mean streak to Swerve Strickland as we close things out for Dynamite tonight. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good match. You can't say it wasn't a good match. It was a good match. Again, the problem is you're putting a match that could be put on a pay-per-view card on free TV, and you came out with a legit winner. No problem with that. But again, this was a pay-per-view match that could have drew money, could have drew viewership. Because you look at the pay-per-view card right now for Revolution, and it's not bad. You left us hanging with what type of stipulation we're going to have for the World Championship. As far as anything else, I don't know what else was made for Revolution. I mean, John Moxley waiting on Takeshita, the tag belts. Yeah, so it's like, okay, you could have put this on your pay-per-view, and I think it would have been a lot better being there. I do. And I stand on that. Again, not a bad match tonight, but I think it would have been better off being on Revolution. And you kind of just closed that book on Swerve and Kenny tonight with having an actual winner. It's like, now what do you do? if you continue this story, what would be the sense? What was the sense of doing this tonight if you're going to continue the story anyways? So hopefully, in my eyes, this should be it. This should be the end of it. They go their separate ways, and that's going to be that. Yeah, Swerve was getting booed tonight. Do I see a heel turn from him? I don't. Do I see a baby face from him? No. I always say, Swerve Strickland is just Swerve Strickland. He's going to give you, he's going to give you those good guy vibes without being a good guy. He's going to give you those bad guy vibes without being a bad guy. He's just doing what Swerve does. And that's pretty much what I think.
He does what he does to get ahead. He does what he does to ultimately get to what his prize is, and what he believes is his prize is that AEW Men's World Championship. He's going to do anything that he possibly can in order to get that title back. So if he has to take somebody out in order to make it happen, like Kenny Omega, he's going to take out Kenny Omega. I think that ultimately what this boils down to, the reason why we got as good of a match as we did tonight, Kenny Omega is not wrestling at Revolution. I think this is it. I fully agree with Mike on that, saying that this should be it. This is done. You don't do an angle like that when you put him through the announce table in the way that you did, and you do the whole choking angle with the chain and all that stuff afterwards. You don't do that unless you're trying to write this guy off. I understand Kenny Omega continues to get written off, or only has a match here and there or whatever, but like at the end of the day, I mean, Swerve Strickland is kind of the focus right now when it comes down to him being the most dangerous man in all of AEW. That's what they've kind of been predicating him on, and that's what he showed tonight. When they did the angle with him pulling in Aubrey, taking the V trigger, and I heard Bryan Danielson saying, "No, I don't think that was inadvertent. I don't think that was inadvertent at all. I think he was actually like." I think that was an actual accident and everything because of his shoulder or whatever. I'm like, no, Brian, no. This was absolutely everything to do with him getting ahead, taking advantage of the situation, and getting the win over Kenny Omega in the end, because this is what he's going to do in order to get back to that world title. It makes perfect sense. And him going full-fledged heel or not, or if it's just a kind of deal to ultimately get him to where he needs to be, a heel Swerve, quote unquote heel Swerve, at the end of the day is a better Swerve. I like him as a babyface, but I mean, we all know he is a better quote unquote heel. So this is great. I loved what they did here, not only just because of the match being great, but the ending angle and what Swerve Strickland could be for the future heading into that world title scene. Perfect. I loved it all.
Well, we'll definitely have to see whether or not he's heel or not. I don't know yet. But, gentlemen, that is all I got for you for AEW Dynamite for 2/18/2026. Now it is time to plug yourself. I'm going to shock you on this time. Mike, where can we find you?
Throw me off of my job here. Normally
Yes.
it's Phil first. Jeez. Damn. Metal Mike 714 all across the board, Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat. I'm starting to post some personal content on TikTok, Fortnite streaming and stuff. I'm testing those waters to see how that is, because with posting the content for the Huddle Hub and everything, now that I added Instagram onto my plate, it's it's a stacked plate in a sense, but I'm adding that on. I'm doing TikTok Fortnite streams. I'm going to test out with posting content from those, so we'll see. Here on the Boom with these gentlemen after AEW every Wednesday night, Monday night with Cam on the table spot after Raw, and then every Tuesday night with John at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and with Cam on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Huddle Hub Podcast, twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub Podcast, youtube.com/@the Huddle Hub Pod. And we are also on X, TikTok, and now Instagram at the Huddle Hub Pod. 3 new videos got posted today, so go check those out. And we'll have more content for you later on this week, over the weekend, after the weekend show. So, yeah.
Phil?
TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, PhillyMet_, PhillyMet, you type it, it's there. I got a lot of things in the pipeline for AEW content as we draw closer to Revolution and WWE content is nonstop at this point, considering what's happening in the world of wrestling as we draw closer to WrestleMania and the Elimination Chamber prior to that. So, I mean, there's a lot in the pipeline right now. So stay tuned to all of that. Twitter is the hub of everything. So if you follow me on there, you'll know when a video is posted, long form or anything like that. So follow me on X, and that'll be the best destination to follow me on. So you get to know everything that I'm doing. So there you go.
Definitely keep up with these two gentlemen and everything they've got going on their socials. Great content coming out from both of them. As for me, you can find me right here every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen talking about some AEW Dynamite right here on the Boom after AEW Dynamite. On Mondays, on the table spot with me and Metalcore Mike talking about Monday Night Raw. On Sundays on the Huddle Hub podcast talking about some football Sunday mornings. And then, of course, the bulk of my personal content is on TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner. Predictions obviously will be coming up for Chamber as we draw near closer to that. Mania is coming up as Phil had said earlier. So yeah, there's a lot of WWE content, a lot of AEW content, and it's just like I said, wrestling is just 24/7. It's just exhausting to keep up with it all, but you know we do our best.
They made a radio station for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exhausting to keep up with it, but we do our best here. But that is all I got for you guys this week. As I always say, love and appreciate all you guys come by and checking out the stream tonight. As I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity, and we are out.